Word. All right. Hey, you want to see the kitten?
Can you hear me? Yes.
Okay, 1 second.
Oh shit. That's a cute kid. Hi, Penelope with the little face and the meow. Did you just meow? Oh, look at you.
Okay, let's go back to sleep.
Okay, bye. Ah. Okay. Okay.
Talk to you soon. Okay. All right.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so sorry.
You're the cutest cat ever. Where'd you get her?
Thanks. Near Hamilton. From just some people.
From just people with cats.
Yeah. That's the story.
Wicked. All right. Well, cute cat.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I
sent
her
Beth.
myself. Right.
I sent Beth the email,
Sweet.
the Zoom link, and she should be here soon.
Sweet.
Yeah. I did send you text links to her bodies of work, right? Like I did send that email. It wasn't a fever dream.
Yeah, you did send it to me. I forgot
text.
where
Okay.
you sent it. I think it was a text, though.
Yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're gonna be. What I looked at. Oh.
I have notes for talking points, but I don't have like structured questions or anything. But I do have, talking points.
Perfect.
Obviously, and like, the names of her books, so it looks like, we have care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and where she works, Moxie Marketing. It's she does PR for like in the agriculture industry. She's really big into cannabis lobbying.
Cool.
Yeah, so she works, does a lot of seminars for cannabis, like fighting for it, and yeah.
Power to the people. I'm into it.
Yeah, how have you been?
Good. Tired, but
Yeah.
The kitten will do that. Otherwise, I've been good though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You?
Been good.
That's good.
Yeah.
How's work?
Work has been swell, kind of turning the podcast into like a 9-to-5 situation though, slowly. But
Heck yeah, I'm into
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
I
get
wanna.
I want to. Do you want to get a hold of Max, or do you want me to?
Oh, if you want to, you can, but I can also.
I was just gonna ask if you had like a structured.
I got none.
letter or anything you wanted to send, like an email, nothing? Okay, so just
Nope.
general requests.
I just remembered they exist, and I was like, that's a good one for the psychedelia issue.
Right on.
And they do like good, important work. And I would hazard to guess without knowing for certain that art is a big part of like managing some things for people.
Yeah.
So, you know, it all adds up.
Okay, just go
But
up to the bank.
Yeah, just be
please.
like, give us anybody from your organization.
Anybody, just anyone. We'll take the janitor
Yeah, as long as he knows about drugs and
or
art.
she. Yeah,
Or she, you're
drugs
right.
and art.
Yep,
I'm sure there's one.
gotta be. Maybe two.
I mean, if there's 3, I'd be so surprised. Like,
I agree. I think 3 is pushing it, but maybe 2.
yeah, well, you never know these things. So.
So we should be aware of Zoom cutting out at 40 minutes, right?
Yeah. Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? It's so
Good.
crazy to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you as
Hey,
well.
Hey,
What's
Matt.
up, Beth? How are you? I guess you just said that, but
Yep.
welcome. Hello.
I'm doing good. Thanks. I
Wonderful.
appreciate your flexibility with the meeting time too. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. No, it's okay. That was pushed back a little bit. You know, the audio or video quality rather is where I wanted it to be. So this is good. And I'm just really excited to have you here with us speaking because you've been a member of VISIO for so long that it's great that to finally meet you face to face. So I'm really happy that we could do this.
I know it's crazy. It's always so weird to finally like get that face interaction. I was just looking through some of the old copies of VISIO and we've been doing this for a while together. So I appreciate, being involved. It's been such a fun thing to do and continue on with.
Yeah. And just it's grown so much. I think when you first joined on, it was so small and I didn't see it expanding to this level. I had hopes and I had dreams and I had visions, of course, but to expand it to the level of a podcast and just where it is with the followers and the views and everything, it's been great because of artists and creative people like you, actually, honestly. And so
thank you. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you should definitely be super, super proud. I think the growth has been amazing and happy to just be here along the way and part of the community.
Thank you.
I like your plant in the background too. I think I have the same one. Is that a monstera?
Oh no, it's a Alocasia zebrina. It has the stem looks like the pattern of a zebra.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Love
right.
it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm a houseplant kind of person.
Oh yeah, plant mom.
Yep, plant
Yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
Got a bajillion of them. Just keeping them alive.
Matt's a cat dad now.
Yeah, I got a kitten on Saturday.
Oh my gosh, congrats. That's exciting.
Thanks. Yeah, she's really, really small and she yells a lot, but she's like remarkably good for a cat. She climbs the couch, which isn't the best thing, but like she loves being handled and she snuggles up with people and stretches out and yeah, she's really wonderful. Yeah.
What's her name?
The best. Penelope.
Penelope.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Cats
Thanks.
are so fun. They just have like a complete mind of their own. I haven't had a
Yeah.
cat since I was younger, but I have dogs now and it's just fun to like watch them live life.
They're very regal.
Yeah,
They have this ornate air about them.
totally.
Yeah.
Like they know they're better than you and they deserve it.
I know cats frustrate me though. Like sometimes I wish my cats were dogs because with cats you kind of have to like earn their trust and that's just frustrating. Like it's one obstacle between me and affection. And I just with dogs you just love me and they do. And so
Yeah.
Dogs are easy. They'll love you all the time, no matter what. Just the next time it's dinner.
I feel like I'm gonna cut this out, but also I feel like we treat cats how men want to treat women. That's a whole other thing. Anyways,
Matt's just like,
no. I said that's a very broad. That's I'm gonna work that into my type 5 somehow. That's very it's on an everyday thing. But no, again, I'm really glad to have you on, and I want to figure out how to get a background like yours because last time I did, I gave myself eyebrows. So
Oh, yeah, you just have to go sit in a field.
Yeah, you just go sit
Yeah.
in the field.
I didn't
what-
take this picture, but this is the field that's like across from my house. Just it was last April or June, I think. This is canola that they field in the background.
Oh,
And
cool.
so every like May, June, it all blooms yellow, and it's like the most incredible thing to see.
Really?
Wow.
That's your view from outside your house. It's gorgeous. From across the
Yeah,
street,
it's
you
just
said?
like across the street down the way. I live in like a super farming town, and so there's fields all around. They alternate between like wheat and canola and garbanzo beans.
Yeah, you're in Washington State.
Yep,
And-
Eastern Washington. It's like really close to the border of Idaho. So we kind of get like the best of both worlds, like outdoor playground. I like to go camping and stuff.
Why, sorry, Matt.
No. Go ahead, please.
Why Washington State? What, were you born there? Did you travel there and stay there?
Yeah, I was born in the Seattle area. And then I came over here for college and then just decided to stay because it was just easy going. And I never like pictured myself living in the country, but now I don't know if I could ever leave. Like I've been totally ruined here. Like there's no traffic and things are cheaper. So I'm one of those people that's kind of flooding for the hills.
Okay,
Nice,
right
nice.
on, yeah.
Yeah. And you're in Toronto, right? Are you there too, Matt?
Yeah, I'm in like a suburb of Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's very busy all the time, and I long for the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be somewhere remote and full of nature and away from a lot of people. I like it. I need both. I don't know how I'm going to manage that. I need to get a helicopter or something.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
sounds good. I like that solution.
Helicopters make friends.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, then you need enough land for a landing pad, so that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. That's like pretty small.
Yeah.
Build that into your backyard patio, just like, hot tub, helicopter
Yeah,
pad.
patio helipad.
fire. That'd be perfect.
That's beauty. I like that. But you are in the agriculture industry. Am I incorrect? Am I?
Yeah, so I mainly work in marketing, but I've specialized over the last like couple years or so. I did cannabis for a while, and then now I'm
Okay.
doing like fruits and vegetables. So there's a lot of crossover there, just in terms of how they grow the plants and how they market it, how they package it, how you message it after it's packaged and ready to be sold. So I kind of do marketing within the agriculture realm, is how I'd probably put it best.
Right
Without
on.
making you do your job, how do you market fruits and vegetables? What's the approach?
Well, it depends. It depends on what it is. Yeah. So right now we're doing things like summer campaigns. So how you incorporate cantaloupes into like your backyard grilling and pool parties, or how to get grapes into grilling season, like putting them on kebabs and things. So just kind of
Okay.
getting outside the box. A lot of like recipe development. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
because it's kind of what PR is. It's kind of making something and inserting it into how we consume, creating an illusion and inserting it into how we consume. Have you ever
Yeah.
read Crystallization or Crystallizing Public Opinion
No, I haven't.
by Edward Bernays?
Mm-mm.
No,
I haven't either.
No, and it's an old school book. It's kind of dated. It's about the creation and the concept, the psychology behind public relations, and in it, it introduces the story of why bacon is now a breakfast product. It is so pork chops were really cheap product, and they were taken from the pig, but you only have these pork chops. What do you do with the rest of the animal? Now there's bacon left over. What do? You create the illusion or this concept or a campaign that bacon is necessary for breakfast,
I love that. That makes so much sense.
right?
Also, I feel like I don't like if you eat bacon once, it kind of sells itself.
It kind of sells itself.
Yeah.
Like you just
I
have to
know.
like walk around and give someone a piece of bacon, and then they'll buy bacon for the rest of their lives.
And then you gotta, force them every day. Like, don't you love it? You do.
Yeah, breakfast, lunch, dinner, midnight snack.
You
Oh
know
my
what?
God. Yes,
Work it in
please. I
everywhere.
love bacon every meal.
So true. Just one bite and that's it. That's all you need. So I would assume that's in the line of work generally that you do is you're
Yeah.
making cantaloupe scenes sexy.
Totally. Creating like experiences and
Yeah.
like moments around products so that it just becomes part of people's daily lives. And the next time you're thinking like, hey, I want to throw a birthday party, let's make a cake, let's put raspberries on top of it or something
Yeah.
different.
I've heard, I went to school for advertising for a year, and they were all
Yeah.
about how you can't decide what campaign you're going to work on. Are there any fruits or vegetables that you will refuse to work with, and why?
I don't think so. I like them all, I think. I'm
You
a
don't
lot
have
more
any
into
vendettas?
vegetables than fruits, which a lot of people think is kind of weird, but I think they're like pretty versatile. You can make vegetables taste like spices, but fruits are just always kind of sweet, and I don't really have a sweet tooth, so I prefer vegetables over fruits.
No
Kinda
vendettas
weird.
against.
I'm probably like the only person ever.
Thank you so
But,
much
I
for
mean-
clarifying.
Yes, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So-
Matt.
No. Let's talk a little bit about your art. From what I've seen, like very bold, very colorful. Now talking to you sounds like it's inspired by the general aesthetic of the things around you in bloom. These big yellows, these big, colorful blocks of color. What inspires you? How do you get to where you are?
Definitely color. You're right on. Yeah, definitely. Flowers are like something I like to keep around me all the time. Lately, I've been like obsessed with buying orchids because stores are always overwatering them and killing them. And then
Okay.
they'll like discount them in the corner on the floor. And I'm like, I can save that. So I'll take it home and like do a little plant baby rehab.
You have
But
rescue orchids.
rescue orchids. Yes.
That's so cute.
Little plant adoption facility. But yeah, definitely colors. The sky. I absolutely love nature. Like if I could just sleep outside in my garden, I would forever probably. Build like a little awning or something so it doesn't rain on me. But yeah, I love the way colors mix together. Kind of you add white to anything and it changes it so significantly. It makes it much softer. And I like putting palettes of color together. I usually don't plan it out in advance. I usually pick like, one or two colors that I'm really feeling, like bright yellow or pink. And then I'll kind of work from there by adding white to it. And then maybe like a little bit of lavender, definitely green if I'm going with flowers. So that's kind of how I base what I'm creating if it's a garden scene. But I also like to paint the landscapes too.
Yeah, I noticed in your art that you submit to VISIO, your color palettes are very specific, almost deliberate. It's like you see what you see, but then it's an added extra layer of joy, positivity, some brightness to it. You elevate it to the next level of color and of depth because of that. Is that how you see it in your mind? Kind of when you look, if you look
Sort
outside
of.
in your canola field outside your window, you interpret the colors in the scenes as light as they are on the canvas?
Yeah, I would say that. I feel like I see things like I don't like to, compare it to other people because I don't live that experience. But the way that I see things is so bright and so bold and so full of energy. And I feel like I'll look at a hill or a landscape that on the surface maybe looks brown, or some people would say like it's really boring, there's no trees. And then I'm actually seeing like, the layers. There's purple there's white, there's tan, there's green, like sometimes there's pink. And I feel like that just pops to me so naturally that I immediately want to go, put it on a canvas. Or like my partner likes to go fishing. And so we'll go to the river, spend some time, and he'll fish. And then I'll like paint him fishing because that's really fun to do. So just kind of memorializing these moments on a canvas. And I love how once you paint it, you don't have to paint it again. Like it keeps working for you forever and you can just look back on it.
Of course, yeah.
That's really cool. Hey, we in our last interview, we talked to a comedian and a DJ named Emmett Morrison, and he explained that he could look out a window for hours at a time and find things interesting and not get bored. And you're saying not exactly the same thing, but the same thing, that you find joy in what some people would consider mundane, and you find the color in it and the beauty in it. And this isn't a question at all. I just think that we're going to discover through this podcast that tendency is what makes the most like interesting and like not valuable, that's unfair, but like the most interesting kind of people is finding joy in the mundane and taking time to appreciate what's in front of you. So kudos to you for that and for helping me discover it.
Well, thank you for pointing that out, because sometimes, I'm just living and it takes, someone saying something like that for me to realize like, hey, that's something about me is special. And I think everyone kind of needs that, is, you know, something about you that other people don't know how to do, and you're learning. But what I feel like you're almost learning about yourself through other people's eyes, is how I feel when people view my art and they tell me it looks bold, it looks joyful. Like maybe I didn't feel bold or joyful that day, but then when I look at it after they say that, I'm like, hey, you're right. And that enhances and almost improves like my life experience.
Of course. It seems to be the common denominator of all artists, that they're able to see life through a lens and a filter that is not unattainable by others, but perhaps undiscovered, and there's no sense of urgency to discover it. However, the common denominator with people like yourself and artists and creatives is that sense of urgency to break through the monotony and through the mundane and see a different view out your window each time, no matter how similar it is each day.
I totally believe everyone's a creative. I think that we all have boundless capacity to see the world and then kind of synthesize it through ourselves. And that might take a lot of forms. Like I think scientists are artists, you know, people that like to garden, anything, you know, mixology, food art. Like there's so many opportunities to create. And as long as, you know, you're being authentic in what's coming out of your body and letting other people see that, I feel like that makes you an artist.
For sure. No matter what is executed, where it begins is that sense of urgency to share.
Yeah.
That mindset that you have.
It does feel urgent. Sometimes it feels like, you know, I need to write this down, or I need to paint, you know, my afternoon when I get home. And it feels like it's not a choice. Like I have to sit down and create it.
Before it goes away forever.
Yeah.
Exactly. You gotta keep it.
And that's why I say urgency, because it's a distinct clarification between the people that's why I say it's undiscovered, or there's no pull.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say that not everyone is creative.
Yeah, it's almost like you're seeing, again, like Adriana was saying, you're seeing the world through a different lens, whatever it is. And there's a need to like turn around and say, hey, is everyone else seeing this?
Hey, am I taking crazy pills?
Yeah, like look.
There's rainbows in the air right now. Like
double rainbow.
Totally. I always kind of felt like, well, I've always been interested in like my friends' handwriting, like as much as I was like a kid and everything. I was like, oh, your handwriting's really pretty, or like yours is so interesting and unique. And I feel like art is like our handwriting. Like I could paint a tree, you could paint a tree, you could paint a tree, and it would all look different because that is like our mark and our signature style. And so I feel like artists are always looking to discover their style, and it's like it's right in front of you. What you create and what comes out of your hand is your style, and no one else can do that the same way.
It's so true. And that brings me to something I was going to ask you again, because I see so many of your submissions, beautiful, beautiful pieces of art. Honestly, I'm always blown away each time.
Thank you.
I'm sad a lot, and seeing your art is really brightens up my day. But your brush strokes, the way that your hand lays the paint and the shapes on the canvas or the paper, what you're doing is deliberate, and it's very you each time. It's consistent, almost like how Basquiat, you know, you could look at one of his paintings and be like, oh yeah, okay, that's him, or like a Picasso and be like, okay, that's him, right? Do you have any influences that have shaped the style that you now execute, or did that kind of just come from practicing over the years and shaping your own style?
Yeah, it kind of just came out over the years. Like I haven't really studied art. I was a musician. I played the violin, and I was also doing sports. And so I didn't really take any art classes, haven't really studied like art history at all. So people will say like, you know, it looks like so-and-so, and I have to Google it, and it's embarrassing. Like as an artist, I have to Google like famous artists to look at their work. But mostly it's just been, you know, I want to see pretty colors on paper, and I want to be able to see it over and over again. So that's mostly what motivates it.
That's good enough. Yeah, if you're talented, do it. It's
yeah, a lot of it is, I mean, honestly, like I'm sad a lot too. I have like issues with happiness, and so art is kind of what makes that happy for me. Like most of the happiest paintings I started probably not so happy, so it's like a journey and a process, and then by the end of it, like my mood is different and I just feel better.
In how to get here in Canada, and I guess in art at large, there's a group of painters from I think the early 1900s called the Group of Seven. And they sought out to capture Canadiana, but in nature, in paint. And they created a style that didn't exist, and it became sort of Canadian. And their work, a lot of their work, not all of it, was very impressionist sort of style, and captures Canada in like this grandeur, and it's really beautiful. Your work captures your landscapes and the local stuff, for lack of a better term. Are there currently, would you say, impressionist sort of influences, or is there a style about your environment already? Are you kind of like leading away and creating something that doesn't already exist, or are you building on something that's already there?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I don't know of a lot of people in my community that have a similar style as me. And I feel like some of the artists around me, they'll only work in one medium, which is totally fine. And they're incredibly talented. But I like to experiment a ton. And so I haven't painted with acrylics in a couple of weeks. I've been doing like pastels, and then I got tired of pastels. So I switched to watercolors. And I feel like the way I like to think about it is in terms of layers. And so whatever gives me like the most opportunity for like a layered piece that's going to have a lot of depth is going to be what I'll gravitate towards. So, maybe I'll start with acrylic and then put pastel on top, or maybe I'll do like a watercolor base and like use gel pens or glitter or something random. But I feel like it's mostly about the layers for me. Like I don't like to just do one-dimensional work. So however I achieve that.
Of course, there's so many different ways to play, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely. But you don't also, you don't only play in painting and canvas, you also make home items, furniture items. Is that your work as well? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my work. I've uploaded it onto websites like Society6. So they'll take all the effort out of the, the actual production of the item, and then they'll ship it, they'll handle the customer service, and then you get an artist cut. So I feel like one day I'll probably want to take control of that myself so that I, have a larger share of the work when it's purchased. But for now, it's a really good place for me to start because I can just upload, set the tags, do the descriptions, and then they'll handle the marketing, and I'll just have to do like my own personal marketing. And then every month I look in and I'm like, oh, hey, someone bought something that's really exciting for me, because then, they'll have my painting on like a pillow in their house. So that's really cool to see. But mostly I wanted it to be efficient and scalable. Like I don't want to just create work, sell it once, and then it's gone and have to do that all over again. And so every time I create something that I really love and I think could go somewhere, I'll photograph it professionally, make sure it's, in the right format. I'll use Photoshop, and then I'll upload it to places like Society6 so that it can be on pillows. Because that way I feel like my art is scalable and I can sell it or share it with as many people as I can without having to sell just like one original painting.
That sounds like sage advice and philosophy for a lot of people who are listening to this. What's the process like of getting started through them or a similar sort of company? And
yeah, the one that I feel like I've had most success with is Society6, but there's a bunch of them. There's like Redbubble, there's Teespring, there's Spoonflower if you want it to go on fabric. Oh my gosh, I have a list. Maybe I can share the list with you and we can create like an artist resources guide or something together.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but you just go in there, set up your profile, make your business name, make sure you have everything linked like with your PayPal account, and then create your best work and photograph it well, and then make sure it's in the correct dimensions. So definitely recommend having and knowing how to use Photoshop so that you can do those edits. But then it really is that easy. You just upload it, set it, and then it's submitted, and their marketplace does the work for you.
So this is a way for artists to increase the surface area of their art, of where it's spreading. So it's not just going to be on prints and canvas, and that's a gallery type format, but rather topes and pillows and blankets and tapestries and curtains and
tangible things. That's really,
Yeah.
really smart.
I think it should be everywhere. It should be fully immersed in your home. I like to say that, like, if it's whimsical, like, it should be in my life. And I don't think whimsy is, reserved to just physical art that you hang, or,
Course, yeah.
children's toys. I think that, your spatula in your kitchen should be colorful and have designs on it. I think, like, you should have
Yes.
cutting boards that you serve charcuterie on that should have beautiful patterns, like your blackout curtains, duvet covers,
You could
like
even expand.
anything. Yeah, go ahead.
Expand into fashion. A print could be made into a beautiful dress, which is already done,
Yeah.
but it's so beautiful.
That would be really cool. I need to learn how to, like, create my own outfits, but you can do spoon flower is the one that you can print your art on. So you could design a pattern, turn
Yes,
it into
that's it.
fabric on spoon flower, and then if
Yes.
you were a master seamstress
Yeah.
or a seamster, I don't know the gender neutral term for that these days, but then you could create your own fashion, which would be really cool.
Yeah, that's really brilliant. And I was going to ask you for some tips, so that's a great first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I work a lot and I have a lot of other things going on in my life. So I want art to be something that can not only be this joy in my life, but is also, making some money.
Yeah.
And so this is just a really good way to, put some investment in time. I'll work on it a couple of hours a week at like midnight, and then you don't have to do anything with it. It just lives on their website. They'll market it. They have sales. They do all the shipment. And so it's kind of like a set and forget it residual income type of thing.
That's really smart as well. I know for me, and I think it's true of a lot of artsy types, the bane of my existence is even the premise of self-marketing.
Mhm.
And try to do anything to sell myself. I can't. It just doesn't. I can't. So being able to set it and forget it and let someone else take care of it and do all the behind the scenes sort of stuff to get your work available is very, very wise.
Yeah, it is hard to market yourself and to have the time, and then, what do you say? And then, do you invest in advertising? Like, it is difficult for creatives to figure out how to jumpstart a business.
It's really difficult. I just registered VISIO as a sole proprietorship. And as a team member, I'm glad to let you know that, because I'm hoping to, in the future, be able to subsidize income for my team, because through grants here in Ontario, you're able to do that. And so I feel like such an imposter. I signed up for, registered my business in my room with my cat, and I'm making no money. And I have no background except in advertising. And so how do you get, like, how I feel like I'm going into it like, oh, someone's gonna find me out. Someone's gonna figure it out that I'm fraud.
That feeling is crazy. Like, I wish I could say that goes away, and I hope someone older than me could tell me that it goes away.
Oh, darn.
Because, like, I felt like an imposter forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this can't possibly be, legit. I'm just like in my house painting, but it is. I mean,
I'm waiting for the cops to come to my
crowd too. I mean, congratulations on that.
Thanks.
I'm hoping we can all conquer that together.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the cops to come to my door and be like, you're not allowed to register a business, pay a fine. I don't know why. I'm paranoid. I feel like I'm not allowed to be doing it.
Yeah, there's that presence in my head too that's like, you're not old enough, like,
yeah,
you didn't get permission.
Yeah, you did this wrong, you have to pay, you didn't pay your tax. I don't know, and it's terrifying. So you say that you wish, you had an adult to say that it goes away, and for you hasn't gone away. I was going to ask if there's any advice that you can give if it, but it seems that we're all doomed to that fate.
No, it seems like, I think all you can do is just, keep doing what you're doing. One of my favorite quotes is that, it's by Robert Collier, and it's, success is the sum of small actions repeated day in and day out.
Yeah.
And I feel that's it. Like, as long as you do one thing that you're really proud of today, and then do that again tomorrow, and again the next day, like, that's what's going to add up to success.
Yeah,
feeling of success.
You read any book written by a billionaire, and they're always like, first chapter, make your bed. Okay. Every single one. but it's true.
But is that necessary? Like, do we have to do that? Can we skip that 30 seconds?
Apparently, it's a basic foundational building block to billions. I didn't know, but it's true.
If I made my bed every day, my dogs would just unmake it. They're like, no.
You think a billionaire would have someone make their bed for them?
Hey, yeah.
Right? Like I heard Bill Gates would lose money if he bent down to pick up $100 bill. Like the time it takes him to do that costs him more than he makes by picking up a $100 bill.
That's
And
insane.
so
Sorry.
you think that's true of making your bed also.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
30 seconds, a minute that you could have spent doing more profitable things, Bill
Well,
Gates.
he's screwed because then he can't like drink water, he can't eat. Like
I was gonna say, what's the science behind that? Like, what's the
Many a
data?
billionaire has died.
just
Trying to
from,
stay a
like, you know,
billionaire.
being frozen in time because they're so worried about not making money.
Yeah, that's why greed is a sin. It kills everybody. It's
Picking
not
up-
the way you think.
Yeah. No, some billionaires don't even know what a quarter looks like.
Wow,
Yeah, man. These people don't even know what change looks like.
that's wild.
Right? Because they only like ever use card.
Yeah, a lot of places like stopped taking cash in the pandemic. And I'm just like, is that legal? Like, don't you have to?
I was gonna say, I'm
accept
like,
my cash.
right? I was gonna say
Yeah.
drug dealers buy things too. No, sorry.
Maybe in trade.
I'm sorry, I'm always workshopping a type 5. So I'm always trying out jokes, Elizabeth. So I'm sorry if they come out of left field.
Yeah,
Oh,
by the
you're good. I like it.
What, Matt? What do you have to say about that? What's your comment?
Oh, I was just gonna say by the time we're like through with this podcast, you're gonna have a tight 5 hours.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
it's great. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for your several specials that are gonna come from this.
Hope Netflix is watching this. I don't know why they would be. So you currently work at Moxie Marketing.
Yep, that's the name of the agency.
What do you do there?
I'm the marketing director there. So I
Okay,
manage the,
yes.
like external presence and
And that's where you work with the fruits and the vegetables.
yeah, content, try to just get more business,
Okay.
create a persona and a presence for ourselves and make the agency shine.
Okay, my apologies. I thought the when you were discussing fruits and recipes, that was a project.
Oh no, yeah, that's like
My
my
apologies.
actual job. But
Of course.
yeah, I do a lot of other things besides art, but art's the most fun.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Okay, yeah. So again, my apologies. I did get that confused.
No, you're good.
And I was sorry.
Oops, sorry. Have you wanted to do that forever?
Yeah, communications in general. I felt like I was really good at just messaging, writing. Writing's always really fun and creative, and I feel like words are free, and so getting paid for words is really awesome. Like,
Nice.
sweet. I can
Okay,
sit
so-
and write something.
So say somebody buys 1,000,000 pillows from Society 6 tomorrow, and suddenly you got some paper in your pockets. What do you do? How would you spend your days if money wasn't a thing?
Ooh, that's a good question. I feel like I've always wanted to like work for myself, but in the sense of having like 5 or 6 or 8 jobs that I can check in and out of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can
You're
create
amazing.
different streams that I'll work
Yeah.
like 5 hours a week on each one. And then when I get bored, I can like move on to the next one. So maybe
So
you know,
hobbies.
I'll be a writer. Well, I mean, what's cool if all your hobbies could be your job, like combined? That would be the
That's
dream.
true.
So like I'd want to maybe get like a farmhouse and make it beautiful and host like weddings and events there or something, or do like an artist retreat workshop,
Yeah.
maybe like a little mini small farm, maybe some arts and crafts. Like, I think that would be the dream, is just kind of doing all these little things that bring me joy, but like they add them together and that would be like a full income.
That's really admirable and inspiring.
I think it could be done. I feel
I
like,
think it could be too.
yeah, you just have to scale things. And so building things that have potential to be bigger without me having to like be there all the time.
Do you have a sense of how to scale things like
Yes.
already, or is that something you'd have to figure out if you were to be given such an opportunity. I ask because I don't have a sense of how to scale things. So if you have advice, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I've kind of just had to figure it out and for art. But I think I'm sort of trying to figure it out for like writing now too. But I'm just thinking of when I think of like how could I scale this is like what would be the least efficient. So creating a painting on canvas and then selling it would be the least efficient because now that painting is gone and that customer's already bought something, so they probably don't want to buy another thing. And then I've lost that painting. And so I'm just like, how could I, maybe keep the painting or create it so that more people could purchase the painting for, a lower cost. And then if they're buying prints at a lower cost, one day I might be okay with getting rid of the original. And now the original is like more sought after and more valuable. So then that's when it would make sense for me to sell the original, is when the demand is higher. And it would make, I don't know, it'd just be more efficient that way in my head.
Oh my God, you're so smart. Oh my God.
I think it's like the pressure that's like, I can't do this forever. I don't have unlimited time. Like, how can I like force it to work better in the small amount of time that I have?
You just told on so many like artists listening because that's not in a bad way, but you're like, don't just sell your paintings. And that's what like everyone is doing. Even me, I'm like painting something and selling it. I'm like, oh shit, am I doing that wrong? Is that not?
No,
oh no.
Like I'm honestly like jealous that people can create a painting and then just like sell it like that, because that means that you formed a customer base that loves you.
Yeah, but
your friends and family are probably all up on it. Like you have joy that it's in their home. But I feel so attached to some of my work that I'm just like, I could never sell it. So how can I, still sell it, but keep it in my life? And that's through, prints and scaling it onto like home items and things like that.
So smart. So smart.
Yeah. You mentioned you mentioned that you're trying to figure out how to scale writing. Let's talk a little bit about the writing.
Yeah. I was going to get into your books, and you're a published poetry author, and
I don't know. My poetry, I'm not sure what to do with it right now. Like I have some books. They're doing okay. I could definitely be promoting them a little more. But I'm kind of not sure what I want to do next with books. I think I want to write something that has like more of a narrative, because the poetry has been a little bit of a narrative. Like people have said that it kind of feels like reading a story, but I want to have something that has like a solid story. So maybe like write and illustrate like a children's book or something. Or I'm thinking like an adult children's book, like not actually for kids, but like in the style and nostalgia of a children's book. That would be really fun to do.
I really like that aesthetic. Do you have any of your like painted artwork in the poetry books? Are you pairing those at all?
Yeah.
Not yet, but I've thought about it. I've thought about that. That's a really good idea. I'd have to figure out like how. I was thinking of doing like maybe some digital art and pairing it with the poetry, but I think the paintings might be more unique.
Yeah, kind of keep them separate.
Yeah.
So there's 6 published books, just for the listeners, are like Paper Feathers, No Roots, Limits of Mustard Infinity.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, we're gonna get into Made of Magnets, The Hot Thoughts, is that one? And Cheers, a seasonal one, Cheers Over Eggnog.
Oh yeah, that one was fun. That's like a little Christmas theme, holiday theme.
Yeah, these which one of these 6 are your favorite? Which do you enjoy the
I
most?
love Limits of Mustard Infinity. That one I think was the most kind of, I don't know, therapeutic to create. And I feel like it has a narrative as it runs through it. Like you leave the book feeling a certain way, and everyone feels a different way, but it's been really cool for me to listen to like what people think of it, because it talks a lot about the land and connection and like humanity in general, and how we all interact and feel about each other, and then how that relates to our connection to like our land and our environment. And that sounds really weird, but if you read it, you kind of get that feeling throughout it. And it definitely leaves me feeling refreshed, like I've just drank from like a spring in the forest or something.
That's cool. I hear musicians describe albums as, having a particular vibe that was attached to them at the time, but not like a specific theme. Do your books have, I know the eggnog one is Christmas, but do they have like particular conscious themes, or is it more of a vibe from the time?
Yeah, they do have themes. So Paper Feathers is very, movement, time, place, connection to nature. They're mostly about nature, to be honest. But No Roots is specifically written in like a way that's very Zen, like it uses a lot of kind of Zen principles. Magnets is kind of about like love and heartbreak. Cheers Over Eggnog is the seasonal holiday one. Limits, Mustard, and Infinity, that's the one I just discussed, where it's very land and time and place. And then the Hot Thoughts is another kind of love and heartbreak type of book.
So just give me one moment. My Zoom is kind of acting up on me. My apologies. Doing everything over the computer is always a frustrating task.
Yeah, it says less than a minute up there. I don't know if it'll pick this up.
So if that's what I'm trying to fix, because on one account I have it where it's upgraded and I can record longer. So what I might have to do is—
Can you give me permission to record really quick? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I might be able to take over from here.
Yeah, or we could do that, of course. Yeah, or we could exit and I can send you guys a Zoom link on my email account that's upgraded for unlimited time.